Welcome everyone, Stormy Sensei here. Let's do a quick video and audio check. We're all good on both ends, great. Well, this stream was supposed to start maybe like an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, something like that, 45, I think 40 minutes seems about pretty reasonable. But there was another update. We're now on 2.5. So we have new characters released, new banners, new Divergent Universe updates, all sorts of stuff. But, you know, that came with a 17 gigabyte update. So it took me a while to actually get on that. So many characters. First, we'll start with what we know. Luca is a break damage unit.
Just getting started. Get cooking.
We gotta try to make sure that we break with Luca here.
The punches decide. Where's the applause? Let's see some sparks fly!
And then when we use our boosted auto, we actually detonate the stuff there.
Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
It's a shame that he's not quite fast enough to do a second hit, but he should still detonate the look at that, 16,000. Not bad for a trial character. And he detonates stuff again. I guess I could have killed him without taking that hit. I didn't know that I was going to be safe. Asta is a speed buffer, but really she can kind of be used as a break unit at this point. How many turns does this last anyway? That's not helpful. Should have checked ahead of time. Well, this is fine anyway, because I want to give Don Hung his penetration anyway. Or does it have to be a skill? I don't actually know. I used Don Hung for like 3 days, and then pulled Sela. That was not a very good Asta showing, but trust me, she's good. Haven't built mine yet, but he's up there. Mose, a new character here. Mose is a follow-up support unit that happens to do a lot of damage. So I don't actually know how strong this one's going to be, but let's see, how do I, there we go. So the thing here is when he uses his ultimate, it causes a debuff on the enemy. But not yet apparently, because I don't know whether that's from Eidolons or from a trace that he doesn't have unlocked. And when he uses his skill, it basically makes the enemy prey, and he disappears from the action bar. So now he's not, you know, able to be targeted by anything.
Oh, let's see. Everything is worth. Oh, stars, give these trailblazers your blessing. Enemy targets detected.
Step up, let's see ya.
Enemy data secure. Network activated.
So you hit them with this defense down, and then that causes Mose to do a follow-up attack. You'll see that he's now at 6 out of 9. When I hit this enemy, then he's going to get down to 5 out of 9.
No manners, huh?
And then again to down to 4 out of 9. And they still are defense down, so I don't need to actually... I guess I could break them, but is it better to break with... Is it better to break with Pela or with Mose here? 32 break effect compared to 13 break effect, so I'm going to break with Pela. And that's going to cause another follow-up attack. And then I'm going to hit them with an ult, which is going to cause another follow-up attack.
Oh, let's see.
And I disappear again.
Commencing support.
In the mood for another beat?
Nature mastery of immortality.
He'll break if I don't use my skill here. Is that okay for him to break? 34? Yeah, that's better than Mose's. Yeah, 23,000 off of a follow-up attack. It's pretty good for a 4-star.
We have the ready for another.
I'm gonna get this defense down again.
Good old counterattack. Oh, let's see.
Step up, let's see it.
Does that kill? It does. If it didn't, then I still had, you know, I could, if I use the Gallagher ultimate, then that's another attack. And then the boosted auto is another attack after that too. So they make for a pretty good pairing. I'm probably going to get a couple of copies of Mose, I'd imagine. Because I am going to be playing, pulling for Feixiao. This is a character that has seen a lot of usage on my account. Still not maxed out.
Here to crash the party.
888.
Relax. Ready to lose your? You can fight it or rock with it.
Let them do this.
Ah.
And then I use my Sampo ult because that causes the dot vulnerability.
I charge extra.
So they take extra damage from
Bye to breathing.
from that. And then usually you want to use your ultimate
No time to
first,
say bye.
especially in this scenario, because now you see that he's broken. So now he has those 3 shock icons at the top instead of the 2. And I'm going to detonate all of these. He's going to take the dot vulnerability, so 27% more taken. And he's got the break damage shock and Serval's shock and my shock and also erode, because apparently this trial character is using patience is all you need, which is her signature light cone for some reason. Okay. Like, I don't even have that on my account. And then if Sampo has that one trace where, or that one Eidolon where every time he hits someone with wind shear, then they take wind shear damage with 5 stacks of wind shear. No, he doesn't have that one. That's okay. But yeah, that would make it broken here, because then he would be hitting with like
This song's for you.
5 additional hits of damage.
Stand still.
Watch the face.
This team's almost dead.
More business, eh?
Relax.
Black Swan. I actually don't know how to use Black Swan. Like, I've given very good explanations of all the other characters, but this character has like a whole novel in her technique or in her talent. And so I just like have never bothered to actually learn it. But I guess now is a good time, right? So you get a damage boost based off of the effect hit rate. So you want to build effect hit rate and attack in equal numbers, probably some speed. Use skill to attack a single target that has one of these things. Then for each of those debuffs has an extra chance of inflicting Arcana. So yeah, I've been using this character like super wrong. I've definitely been using her basic attack more often when she's on a team with Kafka. I don't understand how people generate skill points. Why is this even like an option to turn on here? Oh, okay. So the basic attack already has that 62% base chance, and then the skill actually also applies it to the skill. And normally it doesn't apply it. Okay, I actually thought that the defense down was a Eidolon, but apparently it's just in the base kit. So you just do an AoE hit for the Arcana. So you gain Arcana, and the basic attack also has a chance of giving Arcana. 62% base chance, so this base chance increases with levels, but then this one is always at 100% base chance. So you give one Arcana to the enemy and one Arcana to adjacent enemies, and you reduce their defense for 3 turns, which is kind of a lot. Wow. Oh, so it's only if you're attacking a single enemy. Do they really mean a single target enemy? I think it says to attack a single target enemy that has this. So yeah, so it's not actually, this is not actually that good then, because you could always just use your basic and you would have the same chance, and you would also save a skill point, but you wouldn't have the defense down. So just every 3 enemy turns you would use basic. And this is why I just like never bother reading this. Like, what is this? Okay, inflicts Epiphany for 2 turns. They take more damage, so that's vulnerability. So now she has defense down and vulnerability. That's pretty good. And it's like 20% defense down. That's better than Resolution Shines Like Pearls of Sweat, because that's only like 12% or something like that. And it's only for 1 turn compared to 3 turns. And they can also stack, so you could actually do Resolution, Light Cone, and defense and skill for like more defense down, which is good. The more defense down, the better. So vulnerability, 22%. That's not that good, but it's fine. Gwenifin does like 24% until she gets to E6, when she does 32% vulnerability to all enemies, but also it has like, this is just for 1 ultimate, and Gwenifin has to have 4 burn ticks before she gets up to that number. Additionally, if enemies are also inflicted with Arcana, they are considered to be afflicted with when sheer burn, bleed, shock. After this deals damage at the start of the turn, its stacks are not reset. Okay, so you want to use this when enemies have a lot of Arcana right before their turn. one time for the duration of Epiphany. So they basically made it so you can't always have, you can't just keep on increasing the Arcana, because the Epiphany lasts for 2 turns, but the Arcana reset doesn't happen for one of the turns, and then the second turn is going to not reset, causing the Epiphany to go away. So that's kind of like a limiter being put in place to stop her from being broken. Oh wait, what was that they said? And the trigger count resets when Epiphany is applied again. So if you manage to get enough ultimates, then you actually could just be broken and always have more attacks. It'd be very difficult to make this work, I feel like, because their ultimate probably costs a lot, right? I'm guessing 130? Oh, 120, okay. That is very difficult, I would imagine. Unless she has something in her talent that gives her more energy when something happens. Let's see. Every time they receive dot damage, so if the more dots you have, so if you have 3 sets of fire damage, then they will have a chance to get 3 Arcanas. So if you have, like, you know, in that last example when I was playing as Kafka, if you have the Serval Shock and the Erode Shock and the Break Shock, and I don't know about the 5 Wind Shears. Like, I don't know, because I don't play any characters that have Wind Shear in their kit. So I don't know whether that does 5 ticks of damage or 1 tick of damage that's 5 times normal. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. When inflicted with Arcana, they receive wind damage equal to some ridiculous number of Black Swan's attack. That's like a Seela skill. Seela skill is 220%, by the way. I mean, Black Swan isn't going to crit, though. Each stack increases the damage multiplier by 10%. So it starts at 204, and then it goes to 214, 224, and so on. Then it resets to 1 stack unless you've used the ultimate. Arcana can stack it to 5 times. Only when Arcana causes damage at the start of the enemy turn. Then it also does additional effects. So basically, if Kafka detonates the Arcana, which is wind shear damage, then it doesn't do this thing that I'm about to explain. So when there are 3 more Arcana stacks, so that's like Serval and Break and Kafka. Oh, you start with 1 Arcana, so I guess it would be like 1 Arcana plus 2 Kafka turns or something like that. Deal 1 damage equal to some number amount to adjacent enemies. And then also has a chance of inflicting Arcana on those targets. When there's 7 more of them, then that same dot ignores 20% of the target and adjacent target's defense. Oh, this enables the current dot dealt this time. Okay, so you want to have at least 7 every turn. Okay.
Make a wish.
That's a whole novel.
Before voting. Everyone's a customer.
I didn't read their techniques, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that something mysterious happened.
Ill tidings manifest.
So because of that break damage, that moved them up to... No, okay. They're at 6 now because of the AoE attack. And attacking this person doesn't really do much. But he was at 8, and now this other person can be at 7.
destiny
and now he's at 3.
Ill fate descend.
Nap time. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
I owe you one.
Forget your
So, Gwenithan's ultimate will actually cause them to detonate their current fire damage, or their burn damage.
feast your eyes.
Memories are ever changing.
And then in order to make sure that he doesn't actually reset his counts, I've got to use my ultimate here.
The water lies an endless abyss.
We're just having fun.
And then do I need to... Actually, I should definitely ultimate here because that gives them the dot vulnerability. And so now he has all the wind shears and he has Epiphany, so it's going to increase the damage taken. And it's also going to increase the... It's going to reduce his defense. He already has reduced defense. He has more than 7 Arcana, so it's going to take... It's going to ignore even more of his defense. And then I didn't actually read her light cone ability either. Each stack of profit increases their attack, so up to 4 stacks you get, because burn, shock, bleed, but I'm only going to get 3 because I guess if I had somehow broken with Natasha, then I could have gotten 4. But another 21% defense ignore on this. I do have 4. I don't know how I have 4 though. I don't know how I have 4. Somehow someone was
To betray my customers,
bleeding, I
I charge
guess.
extra.
Or I guess maybe it's because Arcana is a wind shear. So type of dot in this case could actually mean the
Time for a shot.
that the Arcana, which is wind shear, is different from Arcana or from wind shear.
Nap time.
Turn out your pockets.
We're just having luck.
I mean, that team made sense. I don't know how people make Black Swan and Kafka work on this at the same time because that is way too much skill point usage. Alright, Robin is the latest super premier 5-star limited harmony unit.
Dangerous thoughts. Pressing it all together.
I want to use my ultimate now? Probably not.
Dodge this. What are you looking at?
Everyone gets a free turn here. And I'm going to increase my speed because I'm Sushong. And then I'm going to
Take this. Shake, fry, speed it.
do this, followed by this.
Time to twirl. This big diamond, it's all yours. No more playing nice.
Oh man, I didn't kill them.
Dodge this. Time to twirl.
Not a
Okay.
chance. Nap time.
So now every time I do any attack of any magnitude, I actually do an extra tick of Robin damage. So it increases her attack, and then whenever any ally does an attack, it causes her to also do an attack with them. Now, one thing that I could have done better on this trial is that if I had, because there was one time that Herta used her follow-up attack because 2 enemies were actually below 50% HP. If I had set it up so that, you know, each of the 4 or 5 enemies got below 50% HP one after another, then that would have been 5 actual hits of Concerto instead of 4. And this is the newest character,
Let's see.
Feixiao.
All together.
This should kill like the first 2 groups of enemies, I feel like. Oh, it just killed all 3 of them. Surely, okay, I was about to say that surely they actually give us more than that.
Let's see. All together.
So this still kills these 3. Alright. And so the thing about Feixiao is that every 2 attacks that an ally does, she gets an ultimate charge. Similar to how every time an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, Acheron gets a ultimate charge. And you can hold up to 12 of these.
Who will it be? Here you go, Master.
Step up, let's see ya.
Oh, that was supposed to be a skill. I thought that I was on March.
Lead a shot. Yeah.
That's all you got?
Time to show you what I Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Bless Card. What's this?
How's this taste?
No, I'm so close.
Never hesitate. I won't do.
I venture forth to hunt.
This was so much overkill.
Triumphant. Victory is inevitable.
Oh, I guess it wasn't overkill.
Everything is ordained by stars. Give these trailblazers your blessing. I could take 10 of you. Now watch this. Yeah. Who invited you? Who will it be? The fearless knows how to fear. Awesome.
I can't wait to use this team.
In the mood for another beating? Nice, like my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Oh, that was a waste of a.
I
What's it
venture
called?
forth to hunt.
Forever triumphant. Victory is inevitable.
There's some amount of complication, unnecessary complication, where using triangle during your ultimate will increase your toughness damage to enemies that are not weakness broken, and pressing square will do extra damage to enemies that are weakness broken. And you actually do colorless break damage, so is good for Apocalyptic Shadow. But it's made to not actually work very well for Super Break, because the toughness damage only is increased when you are hitting an enemy that is not weakness broken, so you don't get super break damage. And then the bonus damage is for weakness broken enemies, so you don't get the damage reduction bonus. But it's probably still fine to use in Super Break. I'll probably do it at least once, because Gallagher and March 7th are such good characters to pair with Feixiao that I may as well have Harmony MC in there and then just like have. So the issue with Super Break that I usually have is that when the enemy's not broken, then the team is kind of terrible. So having Feixiao as a way to basically make breaks happen more easily, and also to kill enemies that are not yet broken because she just does that much damage on her own, will be kind of nice. Alright, let's see if we get like Omega lucky. And just like see if we get her in the first few pulls here. We have quite a number of. We have 5 pulls, or 5-10 pulls. I don't want character trial. I want to see what pity I'm at. I think I'm at like 2 pity. Yeah, literally 2 pity. So it's actually kind of likely that I get her here. Because like hard pity's 80, right? You didn't get anything this time, but also this was 2 pity. We are fairly confident that we're going to get a 5-star this patch. Oh, we got Mose. That's great. Starting off strong. First pull of the banner, a 4-star Mose. And the moles welcome you, which is good. Nothing this time either. That's okay. It's 20 pity. That would be unreasonably lucky. What are the other characters on this banner? Is it like Asta and I don't remember who they are because I must have 5 stars or 6. Oh, no, it's Luca. Okay. I thought I had E6 of everyone that was on this banner already. It's just only Asta though. Yeah, so we're gonna need to win our 50-50 here. And I'm asking for a lot because we also won the Hoha 50-50. That's another pull right there from the Starlight. We get another pull, alright. I do usually save up my Starlight for 5-star light cones. Okay, so no super luck. We got all the way up to 52 pity. So in 10 days, I guess, once I'm done pulling the free 10 pulls for the week, we might try again. And then we also have the story content to go through as well. No hope for the light cone, but that's okay. I'll just use ratios. I don't know who what Mark's gonna use. Probably swordplay, I'd imagine. Silence is all you need, something like that. Got ourselves a Mose. Yeah. I could level up. I'm not going to though.
Nice.
Have E3 Luca now. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, that's an E6 thing. I didn't know that was an E6 thing, that he detonates the bleed that the enemy already has. Oh, okay. I've been overestimating how good Luca is. But that's okay. So energy regen, attack, speed, effect, hit rate, it looks like. What I use? So skill, 100% base chance. So you actually don't need that much effect hit rate, just like a body piece would be enough. And then you would work on, what would this light cone be? This actually wouldn't be that bad, because when you use your ultimate, that implies a vulnerability, so then that's another vulnerability on top of that. The only problem is that he doesn't really spread dot damage that much, so that energy regeneration is not going to be very much. He could also do resolution. Everyone does resolution. He could also do good night sleep well. A lot of people can. Cannot use Fermata unless he's on a team with other dot units. If you don't want to have a effect hit rate body piece, like you want to go for an attack body piece, then you could do Eyes of the Prey. There aren't really that many characters that use Eyes of the Prey very well, so this probably is the best light cone for him, only because it's terrible on most other people. Ah, well. Man, I feel bad for warpless accounts or low warp accounts. Like, not even doing 40 warps in a single patch. I guess if you were like trying to save up, that would be a good limit for yourself. Only 40 pulls per patch. You would, if you played every day, you would actually make up, or you would make way more than 40 pulls every patch. Like I had 50 pulls just then, and I basically went to 0 for Hoha. Alright, let's do some story stuff now. And her light cone. I went to 0 for Hoha and her light cone. E1, S1. Is this the team I want to use here? Looking at maybe 0 pulls this patch. Oh, didn't standard get to 40? Oh yeah, standard pulls. I haven't done those in forever. Guess we're still in the pull segment. I don't want character trial. I want to see what pity I'm at. I'm not going to use the 5-star selector yet. I'm assuming that I have a choice of when I actually get to use it. Well, I might actually get a 5-star here. What is that, 45? I'm at 40. I'm at 40 pity. And so this will be 50 and 60 pity on the standard banner. That's my Shui's light cone. Break effect and attack. Okay, apparently I don't have E6 Don Hung yet. there's my red dot that's gonna stay there forever. I'm very torn on what to use my 5-star selector on. Oh, that's cool. That's the break effect erudition light cone, I think. Is it time to make break effect Serval a thing again? When they use their ultimate, increase their speed by okay, this is definitely Serval's light cone. In fact, the break effect set that has been passed around from unit to unit, like it used to be on Serval, it used to be on Himiko. It started off on Serval. I started off, one of the first characters that I kind of built halfway was Serval on break effect, because you just get so many of those pieces, right? Serval no longer uses that set. She kind of just like uses leftovers. Well, actually, this is way worse than I thought it was going to be. She used leftovers from farming the quantum set, but I don't really use her very often, so apparently she's on nothing right now. But she has historically been on the break effect piece that now is actually used by break units that are meant to break things. Where's her body piece? I must have broken it down into something because it was so bad. Probably. Oh, well, it was probably purple. That's probably what it was. But now that I have that light cone, I think it's the best fit for her.
Come on in, dear. I'm going to be first place at the floor dance.
I don't think I want this team. I need to update the Dan Hung. E5. One more.
Cling to the past.
By an extra 8%. By the skill. So 20% speed reduction. I mean, that's gets better and better the higher the enemy speed is. So that's kind of good. I mean, for an E6, that's like not that great though. Could I make a break effect Dan Hung? A 50% fixed chance. Oh no, that's even worse than that's kind of not good at all. 50% fixed chance, that's like two extra chances. What's this one? 33% chance, but they're multiple hits though. Oh, I know. That's not it. It's actually just 33% to do one additional hit. That's very sad. And then you get 2 extra rolls of the dice. So now you have 3 chances to do additional damage. So maybe you do, I don't know if that means whether you can do 3 extra hits or whether you get 3 more chances to get the 1 hit. Surely this is fixed by an Eidolon, right? Oh, I didn't realize that that was part of her Eidolon. That's like so important, getting E1. Nope, that is not fixed by the Eidolon. Oh no, this red dot's gonna stay here forever? Oh no. Ah well. So I have the first 5 characters. I don't have Yanqing and I don't have Bailu. And basically I'm holding on to it until I get either Yanqing or Bailu, and then I'll use the selector to get the other one. Probably. The character that I actually want the most from here is Bronya. But I only really care about Bronya E2, so I also don't really want to use my selector on Bronya E2 in order to lose the next 50-50 and get Bronya, because then I'd have Bronya E3, which I don't particularly need. Because I already had Bronya E1, and that's good enough for a long time. But eventually, Seela's going to rerun, and then I'm going to pull for Seela's Light Cone when that happens. And Seela's Light Cone makes her do more damage the more speed she has, which means that Bronya will, using this skill here, will, you know, be really good for her. And then there's this, like, right now she's using this set because there's, like, nothing that's really great for her. But if there were, like, a set that if you use a skill increases some other stats by the person that you use the skill on, then, like, all it takes is just, like, a little bit of more stuff. And then these two can go back to dominating like they did at the beginning of my profile. You'll never get E6 without E3 first. The E6 would be alright as well. That would make her sparkle the damage boost affected by the skill, which is 66%, which is incredible, by the way. It would actually end up being 72% because I would have E5 by then. But a 72% boost to a unit's damage for the rest of the turn, which means that follow-up attack characters get to use that, would be pretty nice. Right now I think that Bronya is going to be paired with my Feixiao, because if I use her skill, 66% damage boost on Feixiao, then I can use 2 ultimates back to back using that 1 damage boost the entire time. And then when I'm done, I can do my skill follow-up attack, and then some other character gets to do their follow-up attack as well. The only problem is, I don't know who else is going to be on that team. One thought is Yukong. I've actually been building her up because she has this skill here that increases the attack of all allies by 80%, but only for 2 ally turns. Only for 2 ally turns. But Feixiao fits so much into 1 turn that it would be okay. Like 80% attack and 66% damage boost. And then if I also have the ultimate in play as well, then it also increases her crit rate and crit damage during that time as well.
My soul has never wandered far from the celestial expanse.
But then, so now I have 2 harmonies and Feixiao. Who's the last one going to be? Like, I mean, instead of Yukong, it could be Tingyun, right? It's not going to be as much stuff. Like, her skill increases 50% attack, not 80% attack, but it lasts for 3 of their turns.
Peace. Peace is above all
And the 42% damage boost, but it's not, you know, it's 26% crit rate and 58% crit damage from a level 8 skill. I'm thinking that somewhere in there Topaz should be in the mix. Because her skill increases follow-up damage received by 50%,
Hi, this is
and that's a vulnerability. So you want the, you know, the attack bonus, you get the damage increase, and then the vulnerability is a separate multiplier. So rather than, you know, adding 50 and 50, it's better to multiply by 1.5 and 1.5 than to multiply by 2.
This is Topaz speaking. 여보세요?
But then there's no sustain. It's a completely sustainless team. I need to figure out who would work as a sustain in all of that.
Seriously? When is this war dance going to start? The Sky Splitter has been hovering there for ages. When can we board and see what's inside?
Story recap. We're having the War Dance Festival here. All the people from the various Sansho Alliance ships are here, including multiple generals. Their pretense is that they're here just for the ceremony, but actually they're here to investigate the Ambrosial Arbor incident and put Jing Yuan into question. Somewhere along the way, some Borisin, which is the wolf people, snuck aboard some IPC ships and started causing chaos in here. Their mission was to infiltrate the Shackling prison and free Hule, who is this really, really powerful Borisin who was defeated by Jing Liu 500 years ago. 700 years ago? I think 500 years ago. Back before she was Mara struck and whatnot.
Is this how long my species live? Everything proceeds so slowly. The effectiveness of anticipation in my emotional center is at an all-time high. Oh, I need to drink some coolant.
Relax. The Realm Keeping Commission will send boarding notices to all ticket holders. The Gazette said the Sky Splitter will fire a salute before the ceremony starts.
I saw the schedule for the first day of the tournament. Can you believe the Ringmaster accepted 4 challenges? And he's just a kid. So, who are you betting on, Bardo?
I'm betting on neither. I lost all my credits betting on Roboball games
Oh.
in Taikian.
I know this guy.
This time, I've decided not to rely on probability games to accomplish my target of getting
He's in
rich.
the lobby of Pinaconi. Like when you right before you enter your room, he's a guy that like only talks about Roboball. He actually doesn't know anything about the game. He just likes to bet on the games, but he doesn't know any of the rules of it.
War dance. There you are. I heard you and Mr. Dan Heng went to meet the judges, and then a riot broke out in the Shackling prison. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you both made it out safe.
There was a revolt in the Shackling prison. Fortunately, we were protected by the guards until the Cloud Knights arrived to rescue us.
I was planning to take Miss March and Yoon Lee to Stargazer Navalia to see the Sky Splitter up close, but we stumbled upon a group of suspicious Foxians carrying official identities. They were acting strange, so out of curiosity, we decided to follow them. It turns out they were actually Borisin disguised as Foxians. It's seems they infiltrated Stargazer Navalia in order to prepare for Hulei's escape. And we foiled their plans by pure chance. I wonder who provided them with those disguises. And how many more Borisin have taken advantage of the war dance to infiltrate the ship?
There was a revolt in the shack.
The Borisin traveled all the way here to infiltrate the Lafu, and attempt to rescue their leader with a crafty scheme. This is completely unlike them. To be honest, it reminds me of what the disciples of Sanctus Medicus did during the Ambrosial Arbor crisis. At present, all three generals are on guard, and taking action to hunt down the fugitives, and the mastermind behind it all, in order to prevent further trouble. However, if these Borisin can disguise themselves as Foxians, where do we even begin to search for them? Yeah, I heard them too. But I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint them. I've already reported to General Jing Yuan that I'll give up my role as the Ringmaster. The security of the Lafu is more important to me than anything else. I need to fulfill my duties as a Cloud Knight Lieutenant before taking on the honor of being a Ringmaster. Those tourists just want to see some good sword fights. Anyone can participate in this kind of tournament. Doesn't have to be me. The real challenge lies beyond the ring on the Sky Splitter. If we don't capture the fugitives soon, Hulei will wreak havoc. Obviously, there's someone behind the scenes orchestrating this prison break, intending to spread chaos. If we fail to thwart their evil plan, what honor will be left for us to uphold?
Well said. You may be tiny in stature, but your ambition matches that of the Yao Qing's warriors.
She's so cool.
Hey, this has nothing to do with my...
Yes, I suggested to Yanqing that we find a place to have a decent meal. A hunter must be well fed before the hunt.
You still have a good appetite, even in the face of disaster. You truly are the Merlin's Claw. Please finish the food quickly so we can get to work, General Feixiao.
Well, that's not up to me. Dig in. I called you here so you could enjoy the food.
Me? This isn't the time for a leisurely meal, and this is way too much for me.
Oh. You'd give me time to enjoy a meal, but not yourself? Ever since you encountered those Borisin spies, you've been so busy that you've hardly eaten anything. You can't defeat Hulei on an empty stomach. Take your time. Enjoy the meal and calm yourself.
Hulei's whereabouts are still unknown, and they've even taken Mr. Zhao Cho hostage. The longer we wait, the more complicated the situation becomes.
Zhao Cho always said I'm the most impatient person among the Cloud Knights, and I can't argue with that. So, there's no reason for you to be more anxious than me. I've fought against Borisin abominations for years, and I know their ferocity and cunning well. The Borisin were clearly well prepared for this prison break, and now they are staying in the shadows. They have no reason to rush out into the open. When facing cunning and ferocious prey, the hunter must be more patient, biding their time to seize the golden chance for a decisive blow. Once Hulei loses his patience and reveals himself, that's when we'll strike.
But when will that time come?
I'd imagine
Like I
during the
said.
ceremony.
It's only one meal away.
General Hua Yan, the Skyfaring Commission has finished its preparations. Do you have any other instructions?
Representing the consensus between the Merlin's Claw and the Divine Foresight, I'll step in as the temporary commanding officer of the seat of Divine Foresight and oversee the 6 Commission's affairs on the Lafu.
What is the situation at the shackling prison?
Hule made a quick escape and even sealed the gates of the prison. As of now, the Cloud Knights have re-established contact with the staff inside. The good news is the two Nameless who were trapped in the shackling prison are safe and sound.
I know I shouldn't use the word great given the current situation, but I'm relieved that she and Don Hung are safe.
We've lost contact with one of the messengers from the Xianzhou Yaoqing. The Borisin have likely taken him hostage. Don't worry. Feixiao is leading the wolf hunt operation, and you know how capable she is.
I have no doubt about General Feixiao's capabilities, General Huaiyan. I'm more concerned about the Wardens. According to the plan, the ceremony will begin in 6 hours. The Sky Splitter will be activated, and all visitors will board the ship to watch the contest. But now, with Hule's whereabouts unknown, everything is filled with uncertainty.
March is right, Grandpa. I heard the escaped prisoner from the shackling prison is beyond formidable. In case anything goes wrong.
So, Yunli, what do you think we should do?
Well... I believe we should declare martial law and allocate manpower to search for the escaped prisoners. And as for the war dance...
Well, that would find
it's better
Hule.
to announce an indefinite delay for now.
I don't know that the citizens would be very happy about that.
Your plan sounds solid, but unfortunately solid plans rarely get a chance to be implemented. I believe there are at least 2 parties who won't accept your approach. The first are the many travelers who have come all the way here for the war dance. If we declare martial law now, it's like declaring that the Law Fu isn't safe. How do you think the outsiders would react? They'd be terrified, and chaos might ensue. The second party is the staff of the Xianzhou Law Fu's 6 commissions. They've invested a lot of resources and manpower into organizing the war dance. Suddenly suspending it indefinitely
Their concerns are
creates
not
numerous
concerned with me.
challenges for them. But of course, not everyone disagrees with your idea.
Really?
The mastermind behind this incident would fully support your opinion, presumably. Hule's escape and your discovery of Borisin's spies at Stargazer Navalia. Even a child could guess that these events were orchestrated. The fugitive is just one piece in the game. The one controlling the pieces wants to spread chaos and suspicion among the people on the Law Fu. If we declare martial law and postpone the war dance, we'll fall into their trap and instill fear in people even before Hule actually does anything.
So what do we do?
We'll search for the prisoners while maintaining order on the Law Fu, acting as if nothing has happened.
As if nothing has happened? Yan Qing said he'd assist the generals, and now he's nowhere to be found. With the host ringmaster gone, how are we supposed to act like nothing has happened?
That's why I called the 2 of you here.
Is Yunli going to be the ringmaster? That would be the correct answer, but I'm going to think that March thinks highly of herself.
General Huaiyan, are you asking me to take Yan Qing's place as the ringmaster?
You caught on quickly, Miss March. That's exactly what I mean.
Miss March is a guest invited by General Jing Yuan, Grandpa. How can an outsider represent the Lawfu in the ring? It will make the Xianzhou Lawfu a laughingstock.
Also, she's only been training for like 3 weeks. She'd get crushed.
Dear child, the Nameless of the Astral Express are renowned throughout the cosmos. It's an honor to have them participate in the ceremony. Plus, Miss March is a disciple of the little Cloud Knight Lieutenant. How can she be regarded as an outsider?
It would be pretty impressive if, like, imagine you're one of the other Xian show people, and you were expecting Yang Qing to be the ring master. So you send your best people, not your best people, you send like a representative group of people to fight. And then not even Yan Qing, but an apprentice that Yan Qing took on as a whim 2 weeks ago steps in the ring and beats all of your best warriors across the entire galaxy and across the Alliance. Like that would make quite a statement for the Law Fu.
We can't afford to have any problems during the war dance. I'm entrusting you not only with the honor of the ring, but also with the security of the Sky Splitter. Yukong, please explain to them the rest of the arrangements.
Three dual hours? What's the dual hour? Is that a...
I am sorry for our improper management.
Is that just saying 6 hours?
I really appreciate your assistance, General.
There is no need to apologize. We Cloud Knights fight on the battlefield while you judges punish the criminals. We are two sides of the same Xianzhou Law Fu, and it is my honor to serve the Ten Lords' commission. I've grasped the situation of the prison break. Now tell me more about the current state of the shackling prison.
Borisin infiltrated the prison in disguise and released the prisoners, spreading chaos. Among the judges on duty in the 4 divisions, Judge Shui from the detention division was killed and is temporarily unavailable. So, I'm taking over her duties and commanding Arumaton spectral envoys and spiritfarers to quickly restore order in the affected areas.
Among the judges on duty in the 4 divisions, Judge Sui Yi from the detention division. What are the other divisions? So Hanya has her own division. So I know that Shui Yi's job is to like enter the realm of the dead, I think, and the Karmic Hall. And then Hanya's job is to, or maybe I'm thinking, okay, I think that Hanya's job is to go into the Karmic Hall and then transcribe the thoughts of criminals. Basically, she's an interrogator. And Shui Yi, I don't know. They're probably in their bios. I have both of them at level 80, so I could look it up. But then, wouldn't that mean that there are 2 other divisions that we haven't met yet? Huohua is a judge. She's a new judge. And she probably has a different division than the other 2. But then that means that there's still 1 more. Oh, Shui is responsible for retrieving the dead souls from the Karmic Hall. And then I guess Hanya questions them. I know that Hanya doesn't get to see Shui very often. And it's because one of them spends most of their time with the dead. And Shui doesn't actually have like a real body. Like her body is robotic, and she's just like basically a heliobus. There's some other word for it that's, you know, Xianzhou mumbo jumbo. But she's basically a spirit that just possesses whatever robot she needs to. That's Shui. She only spends limited time among the living. I wonder what limited even means for a long life species. Like, oh, she can only stay alive for 3 months and then she has to go back, or oh, she can only stay alive for a decade and then she has to go back, or something like that. It could be less than that, though.
I and the two behind me will go deeper into the prison to investigate.
General, the situation inside is still chaotic and perilous. Your presence would be...
It's common for Cloud Knight generals to face danger directly. Hule has escaped, and the Yaoqing envoy is being held hostage by the Borisin. His fate is unknown. This is a grave matter. Not only did the Merlin's Claw offer no reproach, she decided to go after Hule herself to prevent further calamity. I believe the Law Fu owes her something in return for her fervent determination. How did the infiltrators learn about the location where Hule was held? And how did they time their plan just before the Yaoqing messengers were ready to escort him? Finding the answer to these questions shouldn't be too difficult. What truly matters is if we can gather the clues that lead us to the mastermind behind all of this.
I understand, but I'm afraid it won't be an easy task.
For a long time, this hidden force has been pursuing their own goals and undermining the security of the Law Fu. Backing down now will only encourage them to further endanger the peace here.
The Ten Lords Commission will support your decision with everything we have, General.
Dan Heng and Ling Sha, I'll need both of you to accompany me on this challenging journey.
Well, it's part of my responsibilities as the Cauldron Master. So, where would you like to start, General?
Let's start with those Borisin disguised as Foxians.
My people have already prepared the evidence.
We get to play Alicia now.
Incense ascends, entwined with ethereal clouds.
I'm probably not going to be able to... Okay. Start of next battle, immediately summons Fu Yuan, fix Befog on all enemies. Oh, what is that? Let's see. That's like almost as long as Asta's. It might be longer, but it's definitely slower though. Definitely it's good enough to kill a trotter before they recognize that you're there. New negative curios in Divergent Universe. Which one did you find? I've come across a handful, I think.
According to Lieutenant Yenqing's report, he stumbled upon a few suspicious Foxians at Stargazer Navalia. After following them, he discovered that they were actually Borisin in disguise. This is one of the bodies.
Looking at him now, it's hard to imagine how he transformed into a Foxian.
My alchemists detected some complex ingredients in his remains, which might explain how these Borisin were able to disguise themselves as Foxians. Simply put, Foxians and Borisin share a common ancestry. Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them. This medicine allows Borisin to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
So, in other words, if they stop taking the medicine, their true form will soon be revealed?
Indeed. This means that these Borisin have a steady supply of the medicine within the Law Fu. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again. When I was sorting through the prescriptions they use, I came across one called Semblance Reversion Essence. It's designed to help those disciples suppress signs of their Mara-struck forms and maintain their normal appearance. When I compared it to the medicine found in the Borison's body...
That makes sense.
They're one and the same, aren't they?
The medicinal properties and ingredients may differ, but the principle remains the same.
Since ancient times, the Borison have always sought to have more powerful bodies, regarding the Phoxians as weaklings. Yet, in order to save their warhead, they were willing to disguise themselves as Phoxians. Their determination is quite remarkable.
If these infiltrators rely on the medicine to maintain their disguise, then following this lead in our investigation seems prudent. Please follow me. Here we are. According to the judge, this area is not yet under control, so we should proceed cautiously. I've captured the nature of the medicine in my sensor. By following the medicinal fumes, we should be able to retrace the steps of the disguised Borison.
Welcome in, Pika. How have you been? This is way too much support, but that's okay. Just a temporary team. Oh, let me actually lean in so that you can actually hear what I'm saying. Mostly I'm just saying how you been.
This is serious. I shall be the judge. By the will of the Ten Lord, the Ten Lord's decree, hereby ordained.
Oh, interesting. It's actually AoE, full AoE. Okay. Minor fire damage, Fuyen's action advances.
Time to cleanse the field.
Not by very much though.
There's no time to lose. Conflict is ready. Show no mercy.
Still in denial? Recount.
Oh. I got an achievement just then. Oh, okay. That was very easy. My apologies for anyone that was spoiled just then. I was not, because I already knew about what was going to happen and what kind of enemies we were going to be fighting. There's another level? No, there's not another level. I think this just makes this a dead end. Yeah. Oh my. I was spoiled way back when they showed me Togepi in 2000. Man, remember the rumors of the next evolution of Pikachu, Pikablue? And like all the crazy things you had to do in order to get a Pikablue in your game? It was really just Azumarill, or actually just Marill, right? I don't think Azumarill existed yet.
Incredible strength. The attacker shattered this warden's bones with a single blow.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borisin possesses. This is likely the work of Hule.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borisin truly that formidable?
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Lingshaw. To the Alliance, Borisin have always been the most formidable adversaries. And Hule is a monster feared even among his own kind. With his strength, Hule united numerous Borisin packs, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. They constantly pushed the Alliance's armies into perilous positions. Over 7 centuries ago, I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations. And I personally witnessed the devastation on the battlefield after Hule appeared.
Long story short, yes, he's really that
medicinal
strong.
pellets that suppress the fear caused by his lupitoxin. Countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. They couldn't even raise a hand in resistance. If the former sword champion hadn't immobilized Hule with her Frostblade, the outcome of that fateful battle could have been very different. By the end of the battle, only a few of us remained. The crimson moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned? On the Xianzhou Jumi, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars, reducing them to ashes.
Yeah, that would make sense. Or to a black hole. Black hole.
It's just a facade. I mean, nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Lawfu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible
Just send it to
situation we're facing
IX.
now. But I guess I understand. The people of the Lawfu are known for their kindness. Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out. Instead, they exiled the healer, who tried to solve the problem, to the Xianzhou Jumi.
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Lingshaw. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As for why Hule was only in prison, I can shed some light on that too.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past. I'd appreciate it if you could enlighten me, General.
All right. Let me tell you more about it as we go.
I'd rather just sit and watch rather than having like pop-ups as we play. It's like I'm going to just stop and watch it anyway. And then if an enemy attacks me while they're dialoguing, then I just like miss out on that story.
Did this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
No. This is a Borisin in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
All these Borisin are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also 2 Borisin disguised as members of the Skyfaring Commission and the Artisanship Commission. Whoever is providing them with official identities must hold the position of power. Let's search elsewhere.
I really hope it's not like Daho or something like that. Someone that I actually need to give me missions and whatnot. I don't want it to be Gongshu either. the inventor from the from one of the commissions.
This is serious. I shall be the judge.
The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all. Watch your head.
Immerse yourself in it. Time to cleanse the filth.
A foregone conclusion. Here, the thunder!
Recount.
Allow me to purge the root of the problem. Be of your body and mind.
Ah.
Still in denial? I shall be the judge.
You're stubborn. Immerse yourself in it. Time to cleanse the filth.
There's no time to lose. Conflict is pitiless.
By the will of the 10 lords. The 10 lords' decree, hereby ordained.
Get it together.
Recount.
You're a stubborn one. Be of your body and mind. The truth burns clear as a flame. Everything in this world is merely fleeting.
Here, this thunder! Time for the master stroke. Radiant spirit, heed my word. Show no mercy!
The 10 lords' favor grants victory.
Incense ascends.
I commend. Sir.
Space Singer activated. I haven't been to this area before. I mean, I know that I haven't really been exploring the Shackling prison, but that's kind of crazy.
Someone bit open his arteries and drained almost all of his blood while he was still alive. Such a cruel and ruthless act.
Despite being a long-lived species, Borson are actually more like predatory beasts that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hule was deprived of food and water in the Shackling prison. It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Yaoqing be able to avoid being his meal?
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the forest of swords to drain his life force. But in the end, his punishment turned into a test of our patience. Just like you said, Miss Linshaw. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hule went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borisin. But Hule, with his mysterious sorcery, turned countless Foxians into his pawns. So the Borisin kept returning. The Foxians curse his name day and night, and they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a great sinner? I wonder if you know why Hule wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoqing, but instead imprisoned in the Xianzhou Luofu Islicha.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hule, an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, the marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou Luofu as an honor, I assume?
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement, Miss Linsha. Allow me to explain it to you.
Oh man, I wanted to hear the explanation. I don't think I like this team. What should I do instead? Just having a healer and a shieldler. I don't need to stay alive that much. Either one of those characters would be enough for me to stay alive without any issue.
Qing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Boris. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Yes. The Artisanship Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination and found that parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borisin biotissue. I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relationship with the Alliance.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borisin are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borisin attacked that ship to retaliate against the Intelligentsia Guild for experimenting on them?
No. If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in a shackling prison. It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so atypical of them. I'm afraid the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild unknowingly became their accomplices.
Watch out! This thing is still alive! Even after suffering such severe attacks?
Smell of Sensei. Their imitation of long-life species has crossed the line.
Recount your sins.
Is that it?
May the foul stench dissipate quickly. Time to cleanse the filth. This battle is unavoidable.
Follow my charge. Conflict is pitiless.
entered the storm. To guard and defend. Crush them.
Here is thunder. If it can still move, it means it wasn't damaged enough. Let's make sure it never moves again.
By the will of the 10 Lords. The 10 Lords' decree, hereby ordained.
Be of pure body and mind.
This is serious.
Is that it? Conflict is pitiless.
May the foul stench dissipate quickly. Time to cleanse the filth. The truth. Everything in this world is bleeding.
Time. Show no mercy.
I shall be the judge.
There's always a weakness.
Team was very anti-synergistic.
You haven't answered my question about why Hulei was imprisoned in the Lafu instead of the Yaoqing, General. You've been reserved in your response. Could it be that such an arrangement wasn't an honor?
The reason why the Marshal didn't leave Hulei on the Yaoqing lies in the very mech in front of us.
Are you suggesting that there are people trying to understand Hulei's secrets and use them for their own purposes? Just like with this mech? Well, I understand. I've heard that the Foxians on the Yaoqing share a bloodline with the Borison. And just like the Borison, some of the Foxians there experience an uncontrollable insanity called moon rage. The Marshal believed that this would be inhumane and no different from what the Borison do. So...
Exactly. While Borison see moon rage as a blessing that unlocks their true potential, Foxians see it as an inevitable curse within their bloodline.
So this is what Zhao Cho is always talking about for healing himself and Feixiao.
But to no avail. Why can Borison control the power of moon rage? Can we Foxians break free from this curse? These questions were asked frequently. Each questioner had good intentions. But the road to catastrophe is paved with good intentions. To the Foxians of the Yaoqing, Hulei was not only the warhead of the Borison, but also a monster that could be the subject of much research. Hulei thus became a poison that corrupted people's minds without their knowing.
that's why the Marshal decided to imprison Hulei and the Lafu. It wasn't an honor, but rather a warning.
Because such selfish pursuits in the name of good intentions once led to a tragedy on the Lafu that served as a warning to future generations.
This edition of Imbibitor Lunae.
I was going to suggest that, yeah. With Dan Heng being right there in the room with them, awkwardly right out of frame.
By imprisoning Hulei and the Xianzhou Lafu, the Marshal both suppressed the dangerous intentions of the Yaoqing Foxians and warned the Xianzhou Lafu to refrain from repeating its mistake.
That was a necessary trade-off. The Xianzhou alliance is not solely about the Xianzhou natives. Only when all three races, Foxian, Mediagora, and Xianzhou natives, form an alliance, will there be a promising future for all.
Thank you for enlightening me. Was it for the same reason that you traded off my mentor to the Xianzhou Zhuming, only to stand idle and allow the resurgence of the disciples of...
You're speaking to the general here, Lingsha.
You said that I couldn't bear to cut out the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, but instead exiled the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Zhuming. But did your mentor tell you her good intentions led her to perform certain healing arts on Dan Heng, who had just finished his hatching rebirth, so that he would regain the memories of his past life?
What did you just say?
She believed that restoring the High Elder's knowledge of his past life would allow the Vidyadhara to resume their duty as the guardians of the Ambrosial Arbor, quelling the strife within their clan and bringing everything back on the right path.
That's why Dan Heng is able to remember the past. I was always wondering about that, because every other NPC says that they're not supposed to remember anything.
But just as I mentioned earlier, the road to catastrophe is always paved with good intentions. Since then, the 6 charioteers decided that the Alchemy Commission would no longer have a cauldron master. Until your arrival now.
If that's the case, I should thank you for protecting my mentor by exiling her, General.
Quite the contrary. I should be the one thanking you.
Thanking me?
All I ever want is to have a clear conscience. However, can long-life species truly achieve that goal in their long, drawn lives? For example, you were implicated along with your mentor and forced to leave your homeland without knowing the truth. And now, with the complicated situation in the Alchemy Commission, the Alliance has spared me a lot of trouble by sending you to handle this challenging task. Shouldn't I be thanking you instead?
Your eloquence is indeed impressive, the divine foresight. He won't even leave me any excuses to hold a grudge against.
That's a complete defeat.
Let me make it clear. The Alliance sent me here to handle the business impartially, not to choose sides.
It doesn't matter which side you choose, Miss Lin Sha. At the end of the day, both you and I stand on the side of the Alliance, don't we? Let's keep going.
So basically, all 3 generals are like the ultimate politicians. Like, they are all so good with words.
Recount. Crimes.
Be of your body and mind. This battle is unavoidable. Lend me your strength. May the foul stench dissipate time to cleanse the filth.
A foregone conclusion.
We've entered the storm. To guard and defend. Crush them.
Conflict is pitiless.
This is serious. I shall be the judge.
The truth. Everything in this world is bleeding.
By the will of the 10 lords, the 10 lords decree, hereby ordained.
You'll pay for this. Lend me your strength.
Now look at that dance, dance, dance in action. I had Dance 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 on for a particular reason that I don't actually need it on for right now. So I'm going to go back to Meshing Cogs. And then Tingyun can actually keep Dance 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 for now. Why are we going back to the prison? I mean, maybe this makes sense actually. Where else would Hule even be able to hide? Obviously they would have to hide in their original prison cell. No one else is even able to get close to it.
These
Guess we're still just investigating the medicine.
Don't appear to be escaped prisoners.
How can you tell?
These soldiers are fully armed. Obviously, they didn't hastily join the battle.
The messenger named Morza did say that there were two groups of attackers. And the other attackers, aside from the Borisin, could hide their tracks. I believe he was referring to these people.
Hide their tracks.
Exactly. I've engaged with these attackers before, and they used cloud hymn magic to hide their presence. Without careful observation, no one can detect them.
You once warned me to be cautious of the Vidyadhara Elder's influence within the Alchemy Commission. Could it be?
What's on your mind, Miss Lingshaw?
Well, it seems that someone provided the attackers with a map of the shackling prison. And considering the Vidyadhara's involvement in the prison's construction, it raises suspicion about their role in this. Additionally, the fact that the Borisin need medicine to disguise themselves would suggest that there are still moles within the Alchemy Commission assisting them covertly. Moreover, forging official identities for the undercover Borisin would require someone with significant authority. And the presence of assassins capable of using cloud hymn magic deepens my suspicion about the Preceptors. But why would the Vidyadhara collude with the Borisin and aid in Hunlei's escape?
They aim to spread chaos. They believe that only in chaos can they regain their former power and influence. Since this edition of Imbibe de Lunae, the once proud dragon race has been powerless, watching their influence wane. Being a native of the Luofu, Miss Lingshaw, I believe you understand the implications.
However, I don't think the Preceptors are the true mastermind. If I'm not mistaken, the one behind all this treachery is the Lord Ravager who exploited the weaknesses within the Luofu and instigated the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, ultimately leading to the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection. Fentilia.
Please remember, General, that everything I've mentioned is mere speculation. We need concrete evidence for a public trial. If you want to interrogate someone within the Vidyadhara's ranks, you'll need irrefutable proof.
So, what's your plan, Miss Lingshaw?
I'll send an invitation to the Preceptors.
An invitation?
The Preceptors have been inviting me for a personal meeting since my arrival on the Luofu. Now, I'll send them the remains of these Mara-struck soldiers and the route map I found in the prisoner's possession. Then, I'll ask them to meet me at Scale Gorge Waterscape. I'd like to hear their explanations.
Good idea.
It's not very straightforward.
If I were to take action, it might alert the true mastermind. I trust you to handle this matter, Miss Lingshaw. The internal affairs of the Vidyadhara should remain under their jurisdiction. And don't worry if things don't go smoothly. Once the wolf hunt operation is over, the hidden truths will come to light.
Speaking of the wolf hunt operation, I'm truly worried about the Yaoqing messenger who was taken hostage. Hulei was starving in the shackling prison for centuries. I don't know if the messenger can survive in that wolf's clutches. May Rainbow's blessing keep him safe.
Alright, so that took
As I said,
one dual
I'm
hour.
here. But my art of healing requires the culinary arts to be truly effective. The magic of my cauldron is its ability to make all kinds of medicines into dishes that patients can eat. When simmered and cooked together, any kind of medicinal herb or ingredient becomes a delightful delicacy.
Delicacy. But isn't that just one flavor overpowering the others?
Well, you have a point. Let me ask you this. If there's a fussy child who refuses to eat green peppers, what's the best way to make him eat them?
Stuff the kid's mouth with the red peppers. And cook him alive in a pot.
You have quite the sense of humor. I've heard that you, Borisin, have lost many of your taste buds during the self-modification process, so you can't experience complex flavors. Only the saltiness of blood and flesh truly awakens your appetite.
It's a shame I don't have any green peppers right now. Otherwise, I'd happily stuff them into your mouth and cook you alive in a pot.
I'm just kidding. The answer is quite simple. Chop up the peppers and mix them with minced meat to make meatballs. This way, the flavor of the meat overpowers the taste of the peppers. And even a fussy child can enjoy them.
Can I just boil your tongue in this hot pot? I know you're trying to buy time until someone comes to your rescue. You said that Jin Liu recently returned to the Lafu, right? Well, she did come back. But, unfortunately, I also found out that she committed serious crimes and was escorted to another Xianzhou ship. Do you really think you can delay our departure by provoking Lord Hulei's desire for revenge with your clever little tongue?
I really should do those companion
You
quests.
see Borisin as savages who know nothing about the Xianzhou. But in fact, we know all about your tracking tricks. Like the jade abacus you're carrying, and the side cranes in the sky. The more hope you hold in your heart, the greater your pain will be when death comes. I wonder if you can maintain your composure when I tear your throat open.
As obviously evil as Moktok is, he's still a uniquely designed character that at least looks good enough to be a 4-star. So I wouldn't mind having him as a 4-star. We'll see how whether he actually survives the story here.
His composure is only a temporary effect of the medicine.
Oh, is this Hulei's outer appearance?
Soon, right?
Lord Hulei.
Oh, you pathetic Foxians. For thousands of years, we were the ones who allowed you to live, and who granted you civilization. But in the end, you chose to betray us for the freedom promised by the Xianzhou people. But it's all right. As long as you catch the scent of your masters, you obediently return to us. No matter how far.
That's the lycotoxin.
Hulei. Have you ever wondered why it took them 7 centuries to come to your rescue? The Borisin's era has long passed. Did they ever tell you these harsh facts before giving you hope for returning home? Lord Hulei? Now they're being crushed by the Merlin's claw of the Yao Qing, by a Foxian. They're hiding in remote corners of the cosmos, trembling with fear like a wounded beast on its last legs.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking you'd go all out like this.
Hope of salvation, which in this case is you.
I feel like, just a little light jab here and there would have been good enough, but he's actually provoking Hulei enough that, if I were a super powerful evil guy, I might just kill him. Right? Like, why is he letting him talk like this?
The Merlin's claw of the Yao Qing. A Foxian. Very interesting. Tell me, Moktok, is he speaking the truth?
He isn't lying. That lowly beast was a war slave
who ran away from our pack. Cannon fodder, a thief. She stole our power and used her knowledge about us to fight us, using every dirty trick in the book.
And she bested you, Moktok. Fairness is but a pathetic excuse for the dead and defeated.
It's true.
Since our great pack has fallen apart, who told you that I was alive? And who sent you here?
In our darkest hours, it was a prophet of the Master of Immortality, named Mongus, who showed us the way. Her guidance brought us hope.
So it could be another Lord Ravager.
What does she want?
The prophet made this proclamation. The Borisin have been divided for too long, and only your return can unite all the packs, restoring us to our former glory. That's when we learned that you were still alive. It must have been a manifestation of the Master of Immortality. And the prophet told us that the Foxian general of the Yao Qing would take you to her ship during the Lafu's war dance. And that it would be our best chance to infiltrate and free you from your prison. And just as she said, we did it.
That so-called prophet lied to all of you. She just sent you here to die.
The prophecy has come true. Our warhead is right here, with us!
Once the news about the prison break spreads, the Cloud Knights will close all the ports. You may think you've escaped the prison, but you're just trapped in another cage, known as the Luofu.
Let me kill this unruly, lowly beast, Lord Hule! I assure you that our star skiffs will soon arrive. Right now, everyone in the Luofu is distracted by the stupid war dance. So this will be the perfect chance to escape. Once you've returned to your territory, revenge against the Xianzhou ships will be within reach.
Perfect chance to return to my weak and shattered pack at the mercy of a ridiculous false prophet. And become a mere puppet in her clutches. Her plan is full of flaws. The only paths she has prepared for you are escape and death. Listen up. A wolf never allows itself to become prey. From now on, you'll follow my orders. Since you are so confident that the Cloud Knights will close the ports, Jiao Chou, I'm now giving you a chance to go and see it for yourself. Go to the ports, come back, and tell me what you saw.
Wait, what did you just say?
But my lord!
Would an alpha wolf ever listen to a cub, Moktok?
No, I've never heard anything like that. I wasn't trying to defy your will. I will always unquestioningly follow your orders.
Just a little pre-hunt entertainment. Don't you want to run away? You will come back. Because Foxians like you always obediently return to their masters, no matter how far they run away.
I mean, so I just run to the general and then come back with Feixiao and Jing Yuan? Like, I don't understand why he thinks that this is
Square formation,
checkmate.
circular formation, yuan-yang formation. What should we try next?
Anyway, I think that's probably going to be a good place to stop. A little more than 2 hours. Granted, it was only like 1 hour of actual story content. There were a couple of references to story quests that I haven't actually done yet. Like, I still haven't done I mean, we haven't really done this one, but I've already done more than half of this, so I'll probably just finish that off stream anyway. But A Night Stranger, where we basically figure out the you know, why Jing Liu is on the Luofu and what Luocha has to do with her and what exactly is the fate of Jing Liu after the events of the Ambrosial Arbor. So maybe I'll do that on stream next time, but maybe not, we'll see. It's like, there's never really a good time to do these missions because, you know, I basically do the story stuff and then I do the limited time events on stream, and then I've got like 3 weeks to play other video games in order to, you know, have variety on the channel, and then it's time for another patch and we gotta just do more story stuff all over again. And there's always like something cool to do that you don't want to like fall behind for. So for example, this Luminary War Dance we only get to do if we go through this story thing here. And the rewards for doing all this is lots and lots of jades and Eidolons for March 7th to get her up to E6. Eight more of those. Let's see how we're doing on Starlight. Ooh, we're really close. I don't even know what I would get from this shop anymore. Because like Night on the Milky Way is kind of just generally the best Erudition light cone. But I wouldn't need to have a healer on the team if I had something irreplaceable. I could just go full damage. I think those are the only things that I would actually go for, right? Actually, I already have Sleep Like the Dead. Yeah, those would be the only two possible ones that I would get. Where I do 26 more pulls here. Almost had enough for one more. To one, so you know, by the time we come back next week, we'll have enough for another 10 pull. But maybe we'll play more before then, because we have to actually, like, if we play the story and we get the jades from doing the missions and we find the new area that gives us more treasure chests to go through, then we'll get more jades more quickly than waiting for the, you know, 1 a day, 2 a day from the travel log. I guess we could just keep at it. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'll probably play this again tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. until then, if you enjoyed the stream, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. We're going to continue on with the story tomorrow. More dialogue, maybe a little bit of combat even. We have Zhao Cho again. And we'll just keep at it until we can't, until the stream schedule doesn't work for me anymore.
Life is as ephemeral as...
So we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye.